All right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. I know we still have, quite a few people that have not signed on yet, so they will just catch up, and we are going to get started and be respectful of everybody's time. Thank you so much for being on time to this event. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Jessica Shea of Shea. We are an event strategy and design company based in the DC area, and we've been playing around and having as much fun as we can with virtual events during this interesting time. And I see some of you who have been on this, a few of our other ones before. This is our 5th Joyful Zoom event of our series, and we are excited to bring back Holly Byrd Miller to share with us some awesome skincare and makeup tips for you all today. As some of you know, these Joyful Zooms really have a couple of different purposes, and really the biggest one for us was to just spread the joy, add something kind of creative and unique to the virtual world, also while experimenting with new platforms and different ideas for other event planners to learn from, and also support other small businesses, because anyone in this world right now with a small business is probably struggling. So we want to make sure to highlight all of our partners that we work with when we're usually live, Holly being one of them. And so we're really grateful for her to be here today. Just a couple of housekeeping things. I want to give you a run through of how this is going to work over the next hour or so, so you are aware. Most of you, I'm sure, are familiar with Zoom, but just a quick highlight, we do like to chat, so please everybody engage in the chat. You can ask questions there as well. You can continue to type in there, and Megan, who is part of my team, Megan, she will be monitoring that and making sure that Holly is aware if you guys have some questions throughout her presentation and demonstration. We are going to test out a couple of fun interactive games this time, so bear with us, but I think it'll be a fun thing to do. We always do a contest, and we usually share with you the contest at the end, but we're going to share it with you at the beginning just in case you want to do it while you're here. It's super easy, and it's really just to increase engagement in social. We're all very focused on social media right now, so all you have to do is follow both Makeup by Holly, Holly's handle on Instagram, as well as Shea's, which Megan just put into the chat. Follow, and then she gave you the link to the post. You just have to like it and then tag 2 friends. So pretty simple. Those instructions are in the chat. You can do it while you're here, or you can do it after. The contest will run until noon tomorrow, and Holly has put together a curated makeup box, should say beauty box. It'll be a mix of different things to send to the winner. So feel free to play around with that. If you don't have Instagram, you could also do it on Facebook. On my Shea page, the post is there as well. All right, so before we get started, I'm going to tell you if everybody, the first game we're going to do is something just kind of fun and creative. We're going to play around with it. If everybody could go to the gallery option so you can see everybody on, okay? And I'm going to ask you to have everyone put your cameras on if you're comfortable, okay? Thank you. Hi, Lene. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask a few questions, okay? And what we're going to do is everyone's now going to turn your cameras off. And when I ask you the question, if your answer is yes, you're going to turn your camera back on, okay? So everyone turn it off. All right. So the first question, and if your answer is yes, you will turn your camera back on. All right, put your camera on if you are very confident in your skincare routine. Pretty good. All right, turn back off. All right, put your camera on if you often wonder if what you're doing is correct for your skin type. That's pretty much everybody, except for the experts, I think. All right, put your camera, turn them off. Put your camera on if you wear SPF every day. All right. Good job for those who do. And put your last question, turn them back off. Put your camera on if you wish you had started taking care of your skin at a younger age. That's got to be everybody.
Everyone.
That's everybody. All right. Perfect. Okay. So I am now going to let Holly, our fabulous makeup expert, beauty partner, take it from here. I'm going to let her introduce herself and enjoy.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here with me today. I am so honored to be back with Shea and her dynamic team, and so happy to see so many familiar faces here today. So I don't know about you guys, but I could definitely use a little more joy and some self-care. So this topic is very near and dear to me because I think with everything that's going on in the world right now, we could all use a little more joy. So thank you, Jessica, for bringing us these joyful Zooms. And then from the self-care perspective, it's important to take care of ourselves by taking out, a few minutes a day, whether it's 5 minutes or 30 minutes a day for self-care. And one of the ways in which you can do that is through skincare and makeup. I'm a firm believer that if you look good, you feel good, and if you feel good, you do good. And when you do good, that means that the goals that you set for yourself are achievable. You can just go out and just conquer those goals and achieve them. So today is all about making sure that you look good so that you feel good, and then you can do good. So I am going to start with a presentation about skincare, because that's the foundation for everything. That's the foundation for makeup. If you take good care of your skin, your makeup is going to look that much better, and it's going to translate that much better. So it's really important to take good care of our skin. So I'm going to share with you a presentation about good skincare. And so there's a lot of content packed in here, but hopefully you guys will make this an interactive session and ask questions along the way, and then we will share this information with you at the conclusion of this session. So it's really, really important to have a skincare regimen. And one of the ways in which you can start with having a really great skincare regimen is to know your skin type. So how many of you know your skin type? Show your hand if you know what your skin type is. Fantastic. It's really good to know your skin type. So if you're oily, usually you're going to be oiliest in your T-zone. If you're dry, you're typically going to be dry around your nose. If you're normal, you're going to be a combination of oily and then dry. Sensitive skin is if you break out when you use any skincare products or even makeup or even some foods that you eat. So knowing your skin type is really important. That's going to also help you to determine which are the products that are going to be best for you. So knowing your skin type, then when you're choosing your cleanser, your toner, all of the exfoliants, your mask, your serum, your moisturizer, everything that's listed, you want to make sure that they complement your skin type. So if your skin is dry, give it more moisture. If it's oily, then give it less moisture. Kind of makes sense, right? So make sure you know your skin type. Choose a cleanser, again, that complements your skin tone. The cleanser, you want to have a skincare regimen that you can utilize a minimum of once a day. But if you can do it twice a day, then it's really important to have a skincare regimen at least twice a day. All right, even if you don't wear makeup, in the morning and at night. If you can only cleanse your skin and apply your skincare regimen once a day, then it's best to do it at night, okay? So that you can cleanse, remove all the dirt, the oil, the makeup, and then you can put some of that healthy ingredients back into your skin, like your moisturizer, your toner, so that when you're sleeping, your skin cells are turning over, your skin is repairing, it's doing everything it needs to do at night when you're sleeping. All right, so cleanse your skin. Toning your skin is really important. Adding that when you cleanse, you're going to remove dirt and oil. When you tone, it's going to remove any dirt and oil that your cleanser did not remove. And it's also going to put back some of the healthy oil into your skin that you need for that youthful, glowing, radiant skin. So a toner is very important. If you're not currently using one, I highly recommend that you add a toner to your skincare regimen. You also want to exfoliate. It's really important to exfoliate your skin a minimum of once a week, removing those dead skin cells. Your skin cells turn over, especially in your 20s, early 30s, they're turning over about every 3 days. So when you exfoliate, you're going to remove those dead skin cells to make room for more youthful, glowing skin. So exfoliate a minimum of once a week. If it's, and it should never be abrasive. Your exfoliant should have a little grit, but never abrasive to the point where it's scratching your skin and you're really red afterwards. If you are, that's the wrong exfoliant for you. Use something that's a little more gentle, but a little bit of grit, again, to slough off those dead skin cells. It's really, really important. It's important to even use a mask. A mask you can use once a week. They have various masks that you can buy, even in your grocery stores these days. Of course, your Sephora's and your Ulta's, you can buy them online, but make sure you choose a mask that complements, again, your skin type. Okay, so if you're dry, you want a hydrating mask. If you are oily, you want something that's going to be more mattifying. If you want something to help minimize fine lines and wrinkles, then you're going to look for a mask that's targeting fine lines and wrinkles. So make sure you choose a mask that complements your skin type and what it is that you're trying to combat. Okay, serums. Serums are very, very important. And if you guys haven't noticed already, I am going in the order in which you should use these products. I know that we can be inundated with a lot of products and can be very confusing, but this is typically the order in which you would apply your skincare products and have your regimen. So serums go on the skin after you've done everything else that was listed above. They are going to penetrate deeper into your skin. They're usually more corrective or even maybe preventative. So if you're trying to target fine lines and wrinkles, a serum that's going to help minimize fine lines and wrinkles. And so you want to apply the serum before you apply the moisturizer. It's going to penetrate. You have 7 layers of skin. That serum is typically going to penetrate to the 2nd, maybe even the 3rd layer of your skin. And that's why it really helps with anti-aging and helps with more of those corrective problems that you're trying to address. When we become at the age of 30, we have what's considered mature skin. So it's important that you start to include a serum in your skincare regimen. I believe in being proactive instead of reactive. When you're reactive and you're starting to do things that are more corrective, it's more costly. So if you can start introducing a serum into your skincare regimen around the age of 30, then that's good. Then you'll be able to make sure you can have healthier, glowing, more youthful looking skin as you mature. All right, and then lastly, as part of the skincare regimen, you want to include a daytime moisturizer during the day. It should contain an SPF, a minimum of a 15. As we, again, if we have mature skin and we're spending more time in the sun, especially now that it's summer, we're gonna be outside more, then our SPF should have a higher grade of 30, 40, and even 50. Okay, and one thing a lot of people don't know is when you apply SPF, whether it's on your face or your body, it's only good for 2 hours. The efficacy is only good for 2 hours, which means you're going to need to reapply, especially on your bodies if you're spending a lot of time in the sun. And then, of course, at night, you want to apply a nighttime moisturizer. It's usually a heavier formulation, again, to help your skin repair while you're sleeping.
Hey, Holly, we have a few questions here in the chat.
Yes.
All right. The first one is, does it matter if you have a moisturizer for your eyes that's different than your regular moisturizer?
Yes, you can absolutely have 2 different moisturizers, specifically for your under eyes if you're trying to target discoloration, any dark circles, any puffiness, fine lines or wrinkles. So you want an eye cream that has, that can kind of combat those problems. And so those may be different than what you're experiencing on your overall face. But yeah, it's not uncommon to have two different moisturizers. Good question.
Awesome. The second question is, do you apply toner before exfoliating or after?
Yeah, you can apply the toner before you exfoliate. It's usually the second step. So you want to go, you want to apply your cleanser and then your toner. Okay, and then you can exfoliate.
Great. And then
Okay.
the last question is, oh,
Go ahead, Megan.
sorry, we have one more. What about SPF for really oily skin?
They do have mattifying SPFs. They have mattifying moisturizers that have SPF. So make sure that you look for that word specifically, mattifying.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Good question.
Holly, I'm just going to continue that question because I asked the toner one. So this is like riveting to me. So usually like I get in the shower and I exfoliate in the shower. So you're saying like before you get in the shower, you should use your cleanser and your toner and then exfoliate.
Okay, so if you're exfoliating in the shower, that's a bit of a different story because are you wearing your exfoliant in the shower? Like, do you apply it and then do you kind of let it absorb into the skin and then you maybe rinse it off and then you get out of the shower, kind of like what? Okay, so yeah, so you can, after you get out of the shower, then you can add the toner in that case. I'm thinking if you're not in the shower, but in that case, then you can change the sequence. So you can cleanse first, then exfoliate in the shower, and then tone when you get out.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good questions. Good questions. All right. In addition to having a skincare regimen, there are some really great healthy habits that you also need to adopt because what is going on internally will eventually show externally on your face. All right. So I have the do's and the don'ts list. This is not an exhaustive list, but this is just a few essential things to be aware of. You want to drink at least 8 glasses of water. You should drink, 50% of your body weight is essentially what you should be drinking in ounces, okay? So a minimum of eight glasses of water. Taking, multivitamins, vitamins that maybe something that has biotin in it, which is good for hair, nails, and skin. But vitamins are very, very essential to good skin, healthy skin as well. Exercising regularly, a minimum of 3 times a week for at least 20 minutes a day. It's good for your skin, your cardiovascular system, a lot of things. Eating fruits, vegetables, and omega-3 fatty acids, vitally important. When you're eating your entrees, your plate should be more than half of vegetables versus protein. So making sure you get your fruits, your vegetables, and your omega-3 fatty acids. Manage your stress. One of the first places that stress will manifest is on your face. You might start to see acne breakouts or something like that. Usually if you're breaking out around your jawline, that's more hormonal. Okay, so if you're breaking out in this area, it's more hormonal. But if you're breaking out like on your cheeks and on your foreheads and areas like that, that could be more stress related, okay? So making sure that you manage that stress as best you can. Sleeping on a satin pillow. A lot of people don't realize this, but it's great for your skin because cotton pillows can tug at your skin while you're sleeping. A satin pillow will not tug at your skin. And especially those of you who maybe even are sleeping on your back, you might notice that you have less wrinkles than those of us. I sleep on my stomach. I don't know, but so I'm tugging on my skin a little bit more, but the satin pillow helps to minimize that. I know J-Lo, who looks amazing, doesn't look, like she's aging at all. She is an advocate for sleeping on her back because she doesn't want those wrinkles. So sleeping on a satin pillowcase. Clean your makeup brushes. Ladies, please, please, please clean your brushes a minimum of once per week. All right, that bacteria and dirt, it's all growing, it's festering. You want to clean those brushes a minimum of once a week with an antibacterial cleanser or soap, something that's going to get the brushes nice and clean before you're transferring, them back onto your face. So it's really important to clean your makeup brushes at least once a week. All right, don't sleep less than 8 hours. If you can get 8 hours, it really does prove to be better for your skin, but also for your overall health. and wellness. All right. So don't sleep less than 8 hours if you can. Don't eat foods that are high in saturated fats, dairy products, fried and greasy foods, chocolate, sodas. All of these things contribute to acneic skin and discoloration. They increase the discoloration that builds up in our skin. So you want to make sure that you're avoiding these foods as much as possible. I always believe that everybody should have at least maybe one cheat day a week. So if you can, try to make sure you're eating healthier foods more often than not. Don't consume large amounts of alcohol. So, I know some of us love wine. By show of hands, how many of us love wine? Trying to minimize that, to a few times a week. You'll notice that your skin won't look dried out, because alcohol can dry out your skin. It can create premature fine lines and wrinkles. So make sure you try to minimize your alcohol, and smoking especially. You'll start to notice drying in the skin, and if you're a smoker, especially around your lips and your mouth. Okay, and then don't use old makeup. A lot of people don't realize your makeup has an expiration. So look under the bottom of your makeup. You may see a 6M or 12M. That's 6 months or 12 months for the expiration. So make sure you pay attention to your makeup and your skincare, and that you're not using old products. Okay. Here is a very, very long list that I've alphabetized more or less of ingredients that you all should be aware of. I promise you there will not be a quiz on this at the end of the presentation, but these are ingredients that we should be aware of, which are good for our skin. And so some of them that are more common is biotin. I mentioned was great for strengthening your hair and your nails and your skin. Caffeine is really great, especially for under eye puffiness. So caffeine has a lot of great benefits to help that process of photoaging in your skin. You may have heard of glycolic acid. I love glycolic acid. It helps to remove dead skin cells. It's really a really great exfoliant. So brands and products that have these ingredients in them are really great for your skin. Green tea is great as well. Hyaluronic acid is another really popular ingredient that's good for plumping your skin. It holds up to 1,000 times its weight in water. So it's great for plumping your skin and making sure that it looks more youthful and radiant. Here's a long list. We can share this list later, but I just wanted to highlight some of the most important ones. Retinol is another one that helps fight the signs of aging. It helps with fine lines and wrinkles, and even some dark spots for those who have hyperpigmentation. Vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin K. These are some really great ingredients to be aware of for good skincare.
Holly, we have a couple other questions about the expiration dates of products.
Sure.
Does this even apply to eyeshadow? Does that get old?
It does, but not as much. Like, especially if it's a powder-based eyeshadow, it's typically good for 2 years. Okay, so the clock's not ticking as quickly on powder-based eyeshadows, but cream-based eyeshadows, for example, those are usually good for maybe 9 to 12 months. So be aware of the cream-based eyeshadows. Also, you're going to notice cream-based, they're going to start to dry out. So you're not even going to get 9 months out of them, especially if you're opening them frequently. They're just going to start to dry out a bit. But yeah, good question.
And then the next one is, does the expiration date begin when you first open the product?
Honestly, the expiration, it's a tricky one because it's sitting on a shelf for a while too. And sometimes you might notice, especially if you're buying cosmetics from a secondhand retailer, that it's already starting to lose its efficacy. But you can start the clock when you open it. It's hard to determine how long it's been sitting on a shelf.
And Holly, I'm just going to chime in just for, we've got about 2 more minutes to talk about through your presentation. And then I'm going to wrap up with just a couple of questions, and then we'll head into doing our eyes.
Perfect. All right, some harmful ingredients, some things to be aware of. Parabens, fragrances, things that have too much fragrance are harmful for your skin. Phthalates, formaldehyde, these are some ingredients to be aware of, ladies. So make sure you're reading the ingredients, especially if you have healthcare concerns. So I just wanted to make you aware of those as well. products that I recommend, as an artist, I've been doing makeup and skincare for over 25 years, so a lot of great products on the market. Here's some of my favorites. I've been categorized based on premium cosmetics, drugstore, clean beauty. So please, be aware of some of my products that I recommend. I know Jessica and team are going to share some of these with you all later, so don't feel like you have to jot them all down now. Home remedies. So if you are someone who wants really, really natural products, skincare that you can actually whip up in your own kitchen, here are some quick recipes for you, including almost all of them include aloe vera, which is great for calming the skin, rose water, lemon is great for helping to exfoliate your skin and helping to minimize dark spots. Also, honey is great for adding moisture. Cucumbers are great under the eyes to help with discoloration for under eye dark circles. So here are some home remedies for whipping up some skincare in your kitchen. And this is just another way to find me. Of course, you guys will be following, everybody's following it on social media, so you know how to find me. But these are different ways that you can contact Makeup by Holly Beauty Partners and myself for any additional skincare consultations, makeup applications, fashion, and hair.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yes, my pleasure.
So just to wrap up the skincare, if we are going to spend where do you recommend women spend their money? Is there an area where, whether it's your moisturizer, or is it on your glycolic acid? Like, where do you think people should focus their, if they have to decide and they can't buy all, really expensive products?
Great question. I think skincare is absolutely the splurge. Because again, going back to my previous statement, if the better your skin looks, maybe the less makeup you'll even need. Especially now that we're going into we're in summer, we're going to have some really hot days, and you don't want to sweat your cosmetics off. So the healthier, more glowing, more radiant your skin looks, the better. So my answer is definitely invest that money in good skincare. Serums, as I mentioned, if you're 30 plus, eye creams are fantastic because under your eyes, it's the one area on your face where you don't have any sweat glands. So that area gets dry. The older we get, the drier that area becomes. So it's really important to add an eye cream to your skincare regimen to make sure that you don't have that crepiness and those premature fine lines and wrinkles.
Awesome. Okay. And just so everybody knows, she, like Holly said, she has a list of products that she recommends that we will send out after the event. So you can easily link and click and link to order them if you are interested. And just to confirm, you said with exfoliating, how ideally are you doing that every other day or one time a week, or is that dependent on your skin, your type of skin?
Exfoliating is important to do that no matter what your skin type, at least once a week. And in some cases you can do it, 2-3 times a week. If you're using a gentle exfoliant, then you can use that. Then you can do it even more daily. I know Neutrogena, for example, has some really gentle exfoliants that you can use even on a daily basis.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let's hop in. Hopefully everybody has their makeup mirror or their near mirror in the bathroom, and you have your eye makeup products. We did this last time with Holly. We did a full face, but I think the eyes are what really got everybody, and we learned a ton from. So we thought we would do it again. So everybody, if you don't have your makeup and you just want to follow along, you're more than welcome to. But Holly, take it away.
Perfect. All right, ladies, let's have even more fun. So I like to start with brows. You guys will already see, your camera's not playing tricks on you. I have already finished one side of my eye. So this is a finished look, and then I'm going to go along with you all to do this side of the eye. So let's start with brows. So grab your brow product. So you can grab your brow pencil, you can grab your brow pomade, your brow gel, whatever you use for brows. All right, so let's start there. I like to start, so I'm going to show you what's called brow mapping. Brow mapping is literally using your nose and your eye to determine exactly the shape of your brow. Okay, so it's really important to know what your brow shape should be based on your eye shape. So if you can hold a brush at the kind of at the corner of your nose, all right, using your nostril as a guide. This is where your brow, if you hold it at a vertical angle, this is where your brow should start. Okay, so your brow should start right here. So you can kind of take your pencil and you can kind of draw a line of where your brow should start based on that. So just draw a really light line, super light, right where your brow should start. Okay. And then the next thing you're going to do, still holding that pencil by the side of your nostril, you're going to go at about a 45-degree angle. All right. This is where your arch should start. So then you want to draw like another line right there in the arch. All right. Done that. And then lastly, still holding that brush at the corner of your nose, and you're going to go at about a 90-degree angle, and this is where your brow should stop. All right. So you draw another line there, just like a horizontal line right there. All right. So now you all should be able to see these 3 lines that I've now drawn. And now I'm going to connect those lines again with your pencil, connecting it with your pomade. Some of you may even have an angled brush. Should be a stiff angled brush. All right. You can even use your brush if you have, for example, a pomade to fill in your brows. But I'm just going to use this pencil just to kind of connect those lines at the top and the bottom, which is going to give me my brow shape. Again, this is called brow mapping. And you just want to use, you don't want to have a heavy hand. You just want to gently draw and trace the brow, kind of create the outline. And then you start filling in those sparse hairs. And use very gentle, short hair-like strokes, ladies. Don't just use one continuous motion, because then it's going to look drawn on. So you want to use short hair-like strokes, which is picking your brush up and putting it down, picking it up and putting it down, not just one continuous motion. The most concentration should be in the arch. Okay, that's where your brow should be the fullest and the most concentration. And then it starts to extend out near the tail. And then in the inner corner, it should be the lightest. So when you get to the inner corner, you just want to use really short hair-like strokes to work upwards. All right. And that should give you your brow shape. And if you feel like you've gotten too heavy-handed in any area, take your brow comb and just rake through your brows, just to remove any excess product. If you feel like it's a little too thick in any area, just kind of rake through it. All right, that's going to give you a beautiful brow shape. Now my brows match. The brows don't have to be twins, but they should at least be sisters. So try to do the best you can with making sure they're even. You can even hold your pencil kind of like this, horizontally, just to make sure that the arches are even. Sometimes the arch is a little too high. If it's a little too high, you can take a concealer and you can kind of like just go over top of that excess product that you've applied there to kind of bring that brow down or up, and just kind of, you know, you can remove some of the product that way. All right. Perfect. All right. Everybody's looking good. Good job, ladies. Then the next thing you want to do, now that your brow's defined, take your concealer. All right. So take a concealer and a concealer brush. I like to use a nice flat brush, a synthetic brush at that. Not something that has natural bristles, but synthetic bristles. All right. That's going to help to pick up that concealer, which is usually a liquid or a cream, and it's going to help you to apply that product. Your brushes are just as important as your cosmetics because it allows you to work smarter, not harder. And just like an artist who's painting, you are painting your face. So an artist uses the appropriate brushes. You need to use the appropriate brushes as well so that you're not working harder. So you can take that concealer. I usually go with a shade or like a shade or two lighter than your skin tone, all right, for this concealer. And that's what you're going to use to highlight. It's going to do a few things, actually. It's going to highlight your brow bone. So now you see that highlight, so the brow bone is nice and highlighted. But it also helps you, if you didn't create a perfect brow, you can now go in and you're just applying this concealer right at the base of this brow, just to kind of contour it and give it a little bit more shape if you didn't get it quite so perfect before. So this will help you to do that. And if you applied too much product, then you can use concealer to kind of work over top of the brow just to kind of give it more shape. All right. And then any excess concealer, honestly, I like to take that and I like to bring that down onto the lid. So you can bring that excess concealer down onto the remainder of your eye. And this is now going to serve as your eyeshadow base. Some people may even use an eyeshadow primer. Concealer can also serve as a primer. So I just like to take any excess product and just bring it down onto the lid. All right, everybody got that?
Holly, we've got about 6 minutes to get through our full eye, just a heads up.
Perfect. All right, next we're gonna grab our eyeshadow, ladies. So grab your eyeshadow and grab your brush. Make sure you grab like a fluffy brush to start. So you're gonna start with your eyeshadow. I recommend using at least 2 colors, all right? So you wanna choose the mid-tone color first. So you wanna choose that color, and that's the color that's going to go on into your crease. So kind of carve out your crease and go back and forth using kind of a windshield wiper motion to carve out your crease. Again, this is the mid-tone color. The deepest, this is gonna be the mid-tone color that's gonna carve out your crease, all right? And start giving you some depth and dimension in your eyes. All right, and we're just gonna carve it out until you reach your desired look, okay? If you have really, really small eyes, you don't even have to go all the way into the inner corner. You can just stay on the outer corner about halfway or a third of the way and just kind of carve that area out if you have really small eyes. It just kind of depends on the look that you're going for, but ultimately you just want to get that mid-tone color in your crease and start to create some depth and dimension, all right? Going back and forth a few times with the windshield wiper motion. All right, next.
Do you have any recommendations for hooded eyes?
I do. So a smoky eye technique is great for hooded eyes. So with hooded eyes, you want to make sure that and another tip, ladies, make sure your eyes are open when you're doing your eyeshadow application so you can see what it's going to look like what everyone else would be able to see. Because when you're applying it with your eyes closed, sometimes you don't bring it up high enough and your eyeshadow kind of disappears when you open your eyes. So for hooded eyes, especially, make sure your eyes are open when you're applying that shadow. And you want to make sure that you have a darker color on the hooded part, the fleshiest part of the eye, all right? So that if you add a darker color on that fleshy part of the eye, you'll notice when I have a lighter color here, when the light hits your eyes, this is where people's attention will go first. They're going to go to that light part of the eye. They're not going to go to the hooded part, that fleshy part. They're not even really going to see that so much. So with a hooded eye, you want to bring it up a little bit higher and add a darker color on the fleshiest part of the eye so that people don't notice it quite so much. Good question.
All right. A few minutes left, Holly.
All right, ladies. And now we're going to apply the lightest color on the lid. All right, so it's really important to apply the lighter color on the lid with a flat, fluffy brush. Flat and fluffy, because that's going to work in that area the best, okay? It's really going to work in the area, like I said, working smarter, not harder. So a flat, fluffy brush right on that lid. And pat the color in. You notice before we were using windshield wiper, now you're going to pat it in to get a really good concentration of color, okay? And then you can take your fluffy brush once again, make sure it doesn't really have any product on it, and just kind of go back and forth a little bit to blend those 2 colors in. And voila, there we go. Beautiful. All right, and so now we're gonna move on to liner. So let's get your liner of choice. Doesn't matter what color you want. I would recommend you know, if it's at night, going with colors that are darker. During the day, going with colors that are a little bit lighter. You can either apply on your waterline or right in the base of the lashes. If you have small eyes, don't use a black liner. It's gonna make your eyes look even smaller. So go with dark black, brown or gray or even purple, you know, depending on your eye color. But black is gonna close your eyes in a little bit more. So you wanna make sure that you're not using anything that's too dark to close them in. All right, so just keep it, you know, if you have small eyes and you wanted to use a darker shade, then just keep it to the outer corner of the eye. You can also apply liner on your upper lashes as well if you want to create a little bit more depth and dimension. So just add a little coat of liner right at the upper lashes. Make sure you don't see any skin showing, and add just a nice line of liner just to create more depth in the eyes. All right. And the last thing I want to show you is mascara. So let's get a little mascara. All right. I like, even if you have short lashes, ladies, primer. Apply a primer first. If you have really short lashes, apply your primer first, and you'll get 30% more length and volume. So now you're just going to take your mascara, you're going to work from the base of the lashes and wiggle all the way to the tip. Add one coat, allow the one coat to dry. If you want even more volume, then you can go back in for a second coat, but allow the first one to dry first so you don't have caterpillar eyes. And if you really want to add more of an impact, you can add a nice false lash. I know magnetic lashes are really popular right now. You can add a nice false lash to even give it more of an impact.
You said magnetic lashes, Holly?
Excuse me?
Did you say magnetic lashes?
Yes.
Heard of a magnetic lash? Anybody? Oh my God.
Donna Denson. Yeah, I know Donna. Donna is representing a really great magnetic lash line. For anybody who wants more information, you can reach out to me and I'll be happy to share information with you about magnetic lashes. They are actually easier than lash glue, and you can apply them and wear them for like maybe 30 wears or something. It's a lot. So if you're on Zoom calls and you don't have a lot of time to do your makeup, I always say if you pop your eyes and add a lip, that's usually enough to just kind of get you by.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Since all of us are on Zooms, and this is the first time I look at myself sometimes when I get on a Zoom. I'm like, oh, darn it, I should have done something about that. Well, thank you. Before we are actually going to try a little something. If you have time to stick around, and we still have about 10 minutes left, and some people are texting that they have to go, but we just came across a really cool new networking platform. It's fun, and we want to try it out with you guys. So we're going to go into that now, and then we'll pop back over for anybody who wants to ask Holly any additional questions. We are able to stay a little bit later. So all you have to do is you're going to click on the link in the chat, and what's going to happen is it's going to open up your browser into another platform, okay? And at that point, you can exit out of the Zoom, okay? So you have to turn it off so you can use your video. So just click on that, on the link, and then you can exit out of your Zoom, all right? We'll see you over there.